When the teacher asks a question and you know the answer, what do? Right, you raise your hand. I know a fun song about raising your hand, and you can help me sing it. When I get to the part where I sing, I raise my hand, you raise your hand up in the air, and then put it back down. Ready? Here goes. Teacher asked if anyone knew just how much is 2 and 2. 2 and 2 is 4, I know, but what do I do to tell her so? I raise my hand, I raise my hand, I raise my hand so that she will see. I raise my hand, I raise my hand, I raise my hand so she will call on me. Teacher calls the roll each day to see who's here and who's away. She calls my name out loud and clear. How do I let her know I'm here? I raise my hand, I raise my hand, I raise my hand so that she will see. I raise my hand, I raise my hand, I raise my hand so she will call on me. You know, I like all the kids in my class, and once a year I get to tell them in a special way, on Valentine's Day. This year I made Valentines for everybody, even Raymond the new kid. When Mrs. Davis, our teacher, introduced him, she said his family had moved here from a long ways away. He seemed nice, and I couldn't wait for recess so I could talk to him. When recess came, I had to find my sweater, so by the time I got outside, my friend Morgan was already playing with a big rubber ball. Hey, Cricket, said Morgan, come and play with me. In a minute, I said, I want to go find Raymond. I looked all around the playground, but I couldn't see him anywhere. Then suddenly, zoom, he came running out from behind a tree. He grabbed the ball from Morgan and ran off with it. That was mean, said Morgan. I sure don't like that new kid. Give him a chance, I said. We might like him once we get to know him. No way, said Morgan. When lunchtime came, I ate my sandwich and my apple and drank my milk. And then I went outside to look for Raymond again. But first I saw Gary and George building a sandcastle. Hey, Cricket, said Gary, come and play with us. In a minute, I said, I want to go find Raymond. I looked all around the playground, but I didn't see him anywhere. Then suddenly, zoom, he came running out from behind the jungle gym. He kicked in the sandcastle and ran off. That was really mean, said Gary. Yeah, said George. I sure don't like that new kid. Give him a chance, I said. We might like him once we get to know him. No way, said Gary and George. As soon as school was over, I packed up my book and went looking for Raymond again. Out on the grass in front of school, Vicky and Eddie and Colby were practicing handstands. Hey, Cricket, said Vicky, come and play with us. In a minute, I said, I want to go find Raymond. I looked all around in front of school, but I didn't see him anywhere. And suddenly, zoom, he came running out from behind the building. He pushed Vicky down and ran off. That was meaner than mean, said Vicky. Yeah, said Eddie. I sure don't like that new kid. Give him a chance, I called as I ran after Raymond. We might like him once we get to know him. No way, shouted Vicky and Eddie and Colby. Well, I looked for about an hour, and finally I found Raymond, sitting all alone under the jungle gym. Hi, Raymond, I said. He looked kind of surprised. You remember my name, he said. Sure, I said. My name's Cricket. Glad to meet ya. Gee, said Raymond. I didn't think anybody would be glad to meet me. Is that why you did all those things, I said? Uh-huh, said Raymond. I was afraid no one would be my friend. Why do you feel like that, I said. Raymond thought about it for a minute, and then he said, all of you have been friends for a long time, and I just got here. Who's going to be my friend? I will, I said. Let's walk home together. And so we did, and I got to know Raymond. And the next day, when we walked to school together, I got to know Raymond even better. Then Morgan and Gary and George and Vicky and Eddie and Colby all got to know Raymond too. And guess what? Everybody liked him. And guess who got the most Valentines on Valentine's Day? Why, Raymond, of course. Was that a happy ending or what? When I went to school today, I took 3 things that are spelled almost the same. Let's play a spelling game and see if you can figure out what I took. Here's how it works. I'll say I went to school and took a C. What did I take? Then you say a C. Then I'll say I went to school and took a CA. What did I take? And you say a CA. Let's try it. Here we go. I went to school and took a C. What did I take? I went to school and took a CA. What did I take? I went to school and took a CAT. What did I take? That's right. I took my CAT. I took my cat to school with me. Cat is spelled CAT. Let's do another one. I went to school and took an H. What did I take? I went to school and took an HA. What did I take? I went to school and took an HAT. What did I take? That's right. I took my HAT to school today. I took my hat. Hat is spelled HAT. That was fun. Let's do another one. I went to school and took a B. What did I take? I went to school and took a BA. What did I take? I went to school and took a BAT. What did I take? Right, I took my BAT to school today. I took my bat to school today because I wanted to play baseball. Bat is spelled B-A-T. Are you a good speller or what? Now it's time for a history lesson. I like history. It's fun to learn stories and songs about things that really happened. For instance, here's a song people sang in the early days of our country, even before George Washington became the first president. It's called Yankee Doodle. If you know it, sing and march along with me. Here we go. Yankee Doodle went to town riding on a pony. He stuck a feather in his cap and called it macaroni. Yankee Doodle, keep it up. Yankee Doodle dandy. Mind the music and the step, and with the girls be handy. There goes Captain Washington upon a slapping stallion, giving orders to his men. I guess there was a million. Yankee Doodle, keep it up. Yankee Doodle dandy. Mind the music and the step, and with the girls be handy. Was that a fun history lesson or what? Storybook adventures, they're the greatest kind. There's no end to all the fun you'll find. You can have adventures and still be safe at home with a storybook adventure of your own. This is a story about a little grasshopper and a little ant who both lived in my backyard. Every morning, they went to school, just like me. The ant, his name was Arnie, was an A student, because he studied very hard and always did his homework. But Bopper the grasshopper never studied, never did his homework, and never got any A's. So one day I said to Arnie and Bopper, why don't you two try doing your homework together? That way, Bopper might do better in school. Fine with me, said Arnie. Let's start right now. No, said Bopper. Let's start tomorrow instead. The next morning, Arnie woke up bright and early as usual, and Bopper woke up late as usual. Come on, Bopper, said Arnie. Let's get started for school. It's 8 long blocks, you know. So Arnie and Bopper went off to school, and they counted the blocks as they went. 1 block, said Arnie. 2 blocks, said Bopper. 3 blocks, said Arnie. 5 blocks, said Bopper. 5 blocks, said Arnie. What do you mean 5 blocks? 1, 2, 3, 5. 5, said Bopper. 1, 2, 3, 4, said Arnie. If you'd done your homework last night like Cricket said, I bet you know how to count better. Then they counted together all the way up to 8 and arrived at school on time. After school, Arnie and Bopper started on their way back home. Hey, Arnie, said Bopper, let's stop at the store first and buy an orange to eat. So Arnie and Bopper stopped at the grocery store. How much does this orange cost? Bopper asked Arnie. 13 cents, said Arnie. Ah, gee, said Bopper, I only have 6 cents. Do you have 13 cents? No, said Arnie, but I do have 7 cents. Let's see, said Bopper. 6 and 7 make, 11 cents. No, they don't, said Arnie. 6 and 7 make 13. If you'd done your homework last night like Cricket said, I bet you'd know how to add better. Then Arnie added their money together and bought an orange, and they shared it on the way home. When they got home, Arnie went inside to do his homework. Aren't you coming, Bopper, said Arnie. No, said Bopper. I want to go to the movies first. I'll do my homework later. So Arnie went in to study, and Bopper went off to the movies. I think I better take the bus, said Bopper. Bus number 32 goes right by the movies. Then along came a bus, but it was number 23. 32, said Bopper, and then he got on. But when the bus went to a part of town he didn't know, Bopper got worried. Isn't this bus number 32, he asked the driver. No, said the driver. It's the 23 bus. You must have mixed up the 2 and the 3. Now you'll have to take the number 16. So Bopper got off. Then along came another, but it was bus number 19. 16, said Bopper, and then he got on. But when the bus got to another part of town he didn't know, Bopper got even more worried. Isn't this bus number 16, he asked the driver. No, said the driver. It's the 19 bus. You must have mixed up the 6 and the 9. Now you'll have to take the number 98. Well, poor Bopper spent the rest of the afternoon riding buses all over town. He never did make it to the movies. And when he finally got home, it was dark out and cold. Where have you been? Arnie said. I've been lost, said Bopper. I got my numbers mixed up and took the 23 bus instead of the 32. And then I got even more mixed up and took the 19 bus instead of the 16. And then the 89 instead of the 98. That's too bad, said Arnie. If you've done your homework last night like Cricket said, I bet you know how to read your numbers better. You're right, Arnie, said Bopper. From now on, I'm going to do my homework as soon as I get home. 'Cause I've learned that if you keep putting things off, you never get them done. Bopper, I'm proud of you, said Arnie. That's an important lesson to learn. And besides, said Bopper, the sooner I get my homework done, the more time I'll have to play. Was that grasshopper smart or what? Golly gee, I've sure had a good time spending a day at school with you. You know, I'm so glad you're my friend. You're the very most fun I've ever found, and you're my friend. You're especially nice to be around, and you're my friend. I'm so happy I've got a pal to tell my feelings to. No one else means more to me than you. I'll tell you stories and I'll make you laugh, 'cause you're my friend. When we share, you can always have the biggest laugh, 'cause you're my friend. Some folks think I act like a nut. I just want to say, are you great or what? What a playmate you've been. Thanks for being my friend. If you want, you can turn my tape over now. Or you can just think of some things we can do together. Anyway, just remember, you're my friend, and I'll be talking to ya.